Okay, so we had started with module 5 on determinants. So determinants basically are scalar values that we obtain from the square matrix. Okay, and it has linear properties which are there within the matrix which is described. And we saw that the determinant can be denoted in any of these three forms on the left hand side, but mostly we'll be using like a modulus of A. That will be the determinant of A. We discuss the properties. So there are about 8 to 9 properties, and these are simple properties. We have to use these properties to find the answers to the various numericals. So, as such, the proof of the properties is also very simple, but mostly it will be on the application of the numericals. So we have seen some of the properties. So we solved one problem here, uh, a 4 cross 4 matrix, and I gave you the equations for that. The rule and the properties are also mentioned in the notes. So you can look at them, and then some numericals are also solved there. Same numerical you will find in the notes also. Then we took a 3 cross 3 matrix, and you had solved this, and we matched the answer. Uh, then we looked at how to find the determinant if it is a 3 cross 3 matrix. This was just a revision. I think most of us, we know how to find that. And then we looked at the Cramer's rule, which is used to find the or solve the linear equation, right? So how we solve x, y, and z, right? So I'm hoping that there was some part of it which I had asked you to solve, right? To find x, y, and z. I told you how to find it. So I'll quickly recap how to find it. So we are given three equations. You can see on the screen. So those three equations, that each of those equations have LHS as well as the RHS. On the LHS, we find the matrix. It will be a 3 cross 3 matrix because it has 3 rows, 3 columns. So you write the constants which are there for x, y, and z. So this will become the first row, and all the x will be the first column, all the y will be the second column, and all the z constants will be the third column. On the RHS, we will have a 3 cross 1 matrix, and the constants will be 1, 3, and 2. In the first step we make these matrices. In the second step we find the determinant of A. It's very simple to find. In the third step we find x, y, and z. So to find x, we replace the first column, which originally has all the x constants, with the RHS values. So the RHS value is 1, 3, and 2, whereas the second and the third column remain the same because they pertain to y and z, right? So originally this column here was x, then this is y, and this is z, right? So since we are trying to find the value of x, we replace the original column, right, which is there. So if I scroll up, the original column which we have is 1, 2, and 1, right? So we replace that 1, 2, and 1. So let me write it on the side, 1, 2, and 1. So we replace all of this with the RHS value. So the RHS value is 1, 3, and 2, which you can see, right? And then we divide that with the determinant and we get the answer. Similarly, to find y, we do not touch the first column and the third column. We replace the second column, the original second column, with the with the value on the RHS. Divide this matrix by the determinant of the matrix, which turns out to be -11 in this case, and find the answer. For z, we do the same thing. So we leave x as it is, y as it is, we replace z with the RHS value, and therefore we get the answer. Okay. So anybody, if you have solved, what answer do you get?
X equals to minus 19 by 11.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what I have.
No, sir, plus 19 by 11.
Yeah, so I also have x as 19 by 11.
Y is equals to minus 2 by 11.
Y is, hold on, let me check. Yeah, -2 by 11.
And Z is minus 1 by 11.
-1 by 11. That's right. Even I have that. Okay. So we write our answer as x, y, and z on the LHS equal to those values, right? So the z value is -1 by 11, the y value is negative 2 by 11, and x value is 19 by 11. 19 by 11. Right? So the Cramer's rule helps us in solving these linear equations. Okay. Just a word of caution where usually the students will make mistake is that they will not see x, y, and z values which are given. So if I scroll up, I think I can explain it better. So let me explain that. Okay. So if you look at the third equation, okay, if you look at this equation here, the equation which is actually given is x minus 3z equal to 2. Okay, but how we are writing the equation, the other two equations have all the values of x, y, and z, but the third equation doesn't have a value of y, right? So here you have to be careful. So my suggestion is, if this kind of equation is given, you write it completely. In the sense, rewrite this equation as x plus 0y minus 3z equal to 2. So you'll not make a mistake. So you'll have x, you'll have y, you'll have z, because you'll be using the constant z, right? The other issue that usually students face is with the positive negative sign. So if you are getting confused there, if so you have negative 3z here, so you can put a positive sign here. Okay, put in a positive sign and put negative for 3 and write a bracket. Okay, so all should be positive in that sense, and take the constant as negative 3 into the matrix. Okay, so that's how we do the Cramer's rule. Okay, so I hope this was clear how to solve it. It's a very simple and very effective way to find the answer to linear equations. Okay. Now let's look at the concept of cofactors. So when we are doing the matrices, invariably we always do it, but now we are just specifying it as cofactors, or later on permutations and decomposition. But invariably we have done it. We were just not aware of the process. Okay, so I'll just formally define this, and then we'll see how the mathematics can be done. So the determinant of n cross n matrix. Okay, and we'll define this as A equal to small a ij, where small a is the value and I and j will be the rows and columns. Okay, you can define it anyway. I'm just using small a subscript ij, right? So this determinant of n cross n matrix, defined as that, is nothing but sum of n terms of the form plus minus a I j determinant a I j. Okay, with plus and minus sign alternating. And here the values a11, a12, a13, a1n, these are from the first row. Okay, so this, it is a little difficult to understand in terms of the statements. Okay, so let's mathematically see what this means. Okay, so mathematically, if I have to find the determinant of a, okay, this will be nothing but the first value in the first row, first column, a11. Okay, don't be confused with the small a, it is just the value. It could be 5, 6, 7, anything. Okay, so you'll have a11, determinant of a1, determinant of a11. Okay, so this is having a positive sign. The next sign will be a negative sign because the signs have to alternate. You have a12, first row, column 2 value, determinant a12, right? So you will take that value in the first row, second column, and you will ignore the first row and second column and take the other values to find the determinant, right? Plus, and this keeps going, and the final value you have is, we don't know if it is plus or minus, so negative 1 raised to 1 plus n, a1n, that is the value in the first row nth column, determinant a1n. Okay, so again, it may not be clear this way, so let's take an example. So let a be of the form a11, a12, a13, a21, a22, a23, a31, a32, a33, right? So this is a 3 cross 3 matrix, right? And those are the values of the 3 cross 3 matrix, right? So now you can take this matrix A, and let's try to use this equation, right? So I have to find, if we have to find the determinant of A, then we have a plus value A11. So A11 will be the first row, first column. So this is the first row and this is the first column, and this will be the value A11. So you have A11 multiplied with the determinant of A11. That means we'll be ignoring this first row. Okay, we'll ignore this first row here and we'll ignore the first column. Therefore, to find the determinant, now we'll be left with A22, A23, A32 and A33, right? So I'll just circle for understanding. We'll be ignoring this first row and we'll be ignoring this first column, right? So we are left with, you can see the values A22, A23, A32, A33, right? So in this case, this A11, this value here is known as cofactor. All these values will be known as the cofactors, right? Then now let's see the next value. The next value here, okay, is A12, but we have an alternating sign, right? So it will be negative A12. Now how to find the determinant? This is A12 here. So we'll ignore this column and we'll be ignoring the first row, right? So what is left will be A21, A23, A31 and A33, right? Next, your next term here, okay, will be plus an alternating sign, and you have the last value which is A13. So A13. So we'll be ignoring the first row and the third column, that is this dotted column now, and therefore what we are left with is A21, A22, A31 and A32, right? So you must be wondering what is new in this. I've always been using this to find the determinant of a 3 cross 3 matrix. That's what I said at the beginning. We have always done this, but we were not specifically told that this is the way. I mean, this is the cofactor, or this is one of the ways to find the determinant. There are many ways to find that. Okay, so all these values here, A11, this A21, this A31, these are known as cofactors. And now it is very easy to find the determinant here. So all you have to do is just multiply those values and find the determinant, right? So therefore, in this case, if you find the determinant, this will be A11, right? And inside will be A22, A23 minus A23, A32, negative A12. You'll have A21, A33 minus A23, A31. I'll write the third term here, plus A13, A21, A32 minus A22, A31. Right? And then you can multiply and get your answer there, right? So after doing that, your final A11, A22, A33 minus A11, A32, A23 minus A12, A21, A33 minus A12, A31, A23 plus A13, A21, A32 minus A13, A31, A22. So this will be the final answer after we do the multiplication and take all the minus signs and the positive signs together. Okay, so this formula is known as cofactor expansion across the first row. Across the first row. So you can see all the cofactors are only in the first row. Okay, so in general you can also define it like this. So if you have to find the cofactor, right, the cofactor denoted as C I J, where I is the row and J is the column, then this is defined as minus 1 raised to I plus j determinant A I j. So you can put in the values and you can see what will happen, right? So let's say if I and j are 1 and 1, right? So you'll get minus 1 raised to 1 plus 1 A11, right? So minus 1 raised to 2 will be 1. So you'll have 1 into A11, and that is exactly what we had got previously. Okay. So this can be now written as, or you can also have other ways to write it. You can have Cij as minus 1 raised to I plus j determinant Aij, which I have just written. And here A11 will be minus 1 raised to 1 plus 1. If we take I and j as 1, then you'll have A22, A23, A32, A33. And if you have to find A21, then this will be negative 1 raised to 2 plus 1, A21, A23, A31, A33. Right, so this is just an example which I've taken here. Okay, so this is an example. You just have to put in the values and you will get your answer. Okay, so let's see if we can how we can solve a problem based on this. So we are given the matrix A as 2, minus 1, 0, 0, minus 1, 2, minus 1, 0, 0, minus 1, 2, minus 1, and 0, 0, minus 1, 2. So this is the matrix which is given to us. So it's a 4 cross 4 matrix, right? So while the looks of this matrix, you may think that it is difficult to evaluate. Okay, however, if you note in the third and fourth row, the values are just 0 here, the one which I have arrowed. These are just 0 values, so we really don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let's see how we can do the cofactor here. Okay, so first we will take the value. So we are, the job we have to do here is to find the determinant of A. Right? So for that, we'll take the first value A11. So A11 is 2. So I'll just circle this. So this is the A11 value. This is the A12 value. A13 and A14 are 0, right? So that's an advantage for us, right? So we'll take the value 2, that is A11, right? And now after that we have to ignore this first row. So I'm just going to dot that first row. Okay, we'll ignore that. And for the 2, we'll be ignoring this first column also. So what we are left with is 2, -1, 0, -1, 2, -1, 0, -1, 2, right? This is the positive sign. We start with the positive sign. The next sign is going to be a negative sign. So we'll have negative. The second value is -1 here. So we'll have -1. So we'll be ignoring the first row and we'll be ignoring the second column, the dotted column here, right? So what we are left with is -1, -1, 0, 0, 2, -1, 0, -1, 2, right? Then you will have the next term as A13. So you'll have plus. The other term is 0, right? And whatever comes here, it doesn't matter because it's just going to be 0. So I'm just writing it like that, right? And then you'll have the fourth term, right? The fourth term, which is also 0. So but you'll have a negative and then a 0, and whatever comes here, it doesn't matter because it's going to multiply with 0, right? So all you have to do is just evaluate those matrices in the first and the second term, right? So I'll give you a couple of minutes. Go ahead and solve these first two and let me know what answer you get. Okay, and then I'll also solve and we can match the answer. Okay, so let me know what answer you get on this.
Hi, sir.
How much?
5, sir.
5. Huh? We'll wait. Let's see if anyone else also gets.
Five.
Getting 5. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll also quickly solve this. So let's see how we get it. So this will be 2 outside, and you'll have 2 into 4 minus 1 plus 1 into minus 2 plus 0 plus 1, -1 into 4 minus 1 plus 1 into 0, right? So 2 into 6 . Okay, so yeah, you'll get 5. Anyone else also getting 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so there's nothing new in this. We've always been doing this. Okay, but it was just that we were not aware that formally it is known as the cofactor. So this is the cofactor in the first row because we are just using A11, A12, A13 and so on. Okay, so this is one of the ways in which you can find the determinant of any matrix, right? There is another way also in which we can find the determinant of a matrix, okay, and that method is known as the method of pivots. Okay, there's something which is known as pivots. I'm not sure if you are aware of it or not. Okay, but the formal definition and everything is in actually module 4, but it's very easy to understand what the pivots are. Okay, so to understand the pivots, there are two concepts. There is something which is known as a triangular matrix. A triangular matrix. Okay, so I'll not define what. Okay, so if you look at this matrix, this is the diagonal 1, 4, and 6. So the one which I have circled in the dots, this is the diagonal, right? If you see the elements below this diagonal, right? What are the elements below this diagonal? There is 1, 0, another 0, another 0. This kind of a matrix, in which all the elements below the diagonal are 0 is known as an upper triangular matrix. And for this kind of upper triangular matrix, its modulus is determinant. If this is the matrix A, then its determinant is nothing but the multiplication of the diagonal element, that is 1 into 4 into 6, 24. 1 into 4 into 6, right? So any matrix which is given to us, okay, if we can bring it to an upper triangular matrix form by doing row and column exchanges, right? If we can bring it to the upper triangular matrix form, then the determinant is just the multiplication of the diagonal elements, right? On the opposite side, if A is of the form right now, if you see, the diagonal elements are 1, 5, and 6, and all the elements above the diagonal are 0. This is known as the lower triangular matrix, right? In general, we always use the upper triangular matrix, right? And it is easy to find the determinant using that form as well, right? So these elements which are there in the diagonal, for example, if you look at the determinant which we have calculated here, so these elements 1, 4, and 6, which are the diagonal elements, these are known as the pivots of the matrix. These pivots you obtain after doing the row operations and the column operations on the original matrix. Again, in general, we always use the row operation more than the column operation. So usually, in general, what I've seen is we always use the row operation and we always bring the matrix to an upper triangular matrix form. Okay, so this is also one of the ways in which you can find the determinant of a matrix, right? So let us take an example. Okay, and you'll see again, it's quite possible that you have done this before, however without knowing, right? So let's take the determinant. So we are given 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the question here is not just finding the determinant of A, but finding the determinant of A using the upper triangular matrix, right? Using the pivots. So we just can't find the determinant the usual form, right? We have to use the pivots to find the matrix, right? So our aim here is reduce A to an upper triangular matrix, an upper triangular matrix. So an upper triangular matrix will have this form. So A, B, C, D, 0, D, E, So this will be the format of an upper triangular matrix, right? So I have to ensure that all the elements below the diagonal are 0, right? So just to make it more clear, our diagonal here, I'm circling it, is 0 to 6 here, right? So we must ensure that all the elements below that diagonal are 0. However, they are not. We have only 1 0 and then you have 4 and 5. So we should try and reduce it, right? So for this, use row operations. Okay, you must always use the row operations first. Worst case, you must use the column operations. Okay, always try to use the row operations, right? So what we'll do first is let's exchange R3 with R1, right? So in that case, A will become, if we exchange R3 with R1, right? So R3 will become R1. R3 is 4, 5, and 6, right? So this is your R3 and this is your R1, right? So I'm going to exchange them. So you'll get 4, 5, 6. R2 remains as it is, 0, 2, 3, and R1 will become 0, 0, 1. Right? So what you'll have here is 4, 2, 1. This is the diagonal, and you can see all the elements down here are 0. All the elements down here are 0, right? So therefore the determinant of A just becomes 4 into 2 into 1, which is 8. Okay, very quickly use your usual method to find the determinant and check whether you get 0 or not, whether you get 8 or not. Check and let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, so it's one and the same.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So you can always use this pivot formula to get the determinant of any particular matrix. Okay, so let me give you another example. You can try it yourself, take some time, okay, and then I'll help you out. Okay, so this is a larger matrix: 2, -1, 0, 0, -1, 2, -1, 0, 0, -1, 2, -1, 0, 0, -1, 2. Okay, and call this matrix A. Call this matrix A. So first try and get this matrix into an upper triangular format. So just to help you out, your diagonal is this: 2, 2, 2, and 2. So all the elements below that diagonal should be 0. So perform row operations such that all the elements below it become 0. Okay, so I'll just help you out because we are new to this operation. Okay, so first do this. For the row R2, perform the operation 2R2 plus R1. Perform that operation.
So 54.
The determinant.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Check again.
So after performing row operation, the diagonal values will change.
Yes. Just you have to perform multiple multiple row operations. You should ensure that all the values below that are 0.
Yes, sir. So got
What answer do you get?
54.
54. Let's check.
Yes.
I have another value, that's why. So let's see. After performing this, okay, the matrix will look like this. So you'll get 2, -1, 0, 0, 0, 3, -2, 0, 0, -1, 2, -1, and then 0, 0, -1, 2. Are you getting that? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is your diagonal. Okay. But see, all the values below that diagonal are not 0. You still have -1, -1. Okay. That means we should perform some other operation to get those values also 0. So let us do another this thing, right? Now see, if you see you have a -1 here. Okay, I'm just going to dash it here. -1 here, and you have a 3 here on top, right? So if I add these two rows, then this -1 will just become -3, right? If I do 3 times of that row and add it with the second row, then I'll just get a 0. So okay, so let me write here. So if I do R3, third row, as 3R3 plus R2, right? So what will happen? 3R3 means you'll get -3 here, right? And you will add it with R2, that is this 3. So then this value will become 0, right? So once you do that, the matrix will look like this. You will have the first row as it is, 2, -1, 0, 0, right? You'll have the second row as it is, 0, 3, -2, 0. Now what will happen to the third row? The first value will remain 0 only. The second value is 3R3. So -3 plus 3 will give you 0, right? 3 into 2 will be 6, and 6 minus 2 will give you 4, and then you'll have -3 plus 0, so that will be -3, right? And then the last row will remain as it is. So you'll have 0, 0, 0, -1, 2. Okay, so that is after this operation. Now the diagonal is this. So all values are 0 except this -1. Except this -1 here. So I need that -1 also to become 0. So then what we'll do? We will take. Now we'll take that. Yeah, right. Yes. So R4 will become 4R4 plus R3. 4R4 plus R3. right? So the first three rows will remain as it is. So 2, -1, 0, 0, 0, 3, -2, 0, 0, 0, 4, -3, and the last row will become 0, 0. Now you have 4R4 plus R3. So -4 plus 4 will become 0. And you have 4R4. 4 into 2 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay. So now this is an upper triangular matrix here. So now you multiply and you get your answer.
120.
Yeah.
120, sir.
Yes, yes. So that is easy to calculate, but the process is important. Okay. So we'll be doing a lot of this in the fourth module. Okay. So you have to do the row operations. You'll have to do the row operations with a particular aim. Okay. If you just do randomly, then you'll go nowhere. Okay. So with a particular aim, we should do the row operation. So here you see within 4 steps, we got the diagonal answer, right? But if you do any haphazard row operation, then you'll just end up doing a lot of steps. Okay. So this is another way in which we can find the determinant of any given matrix.